hello guys. I hope you're doing fine. One more part of the stream.
The logistics support formation consists of...
That's it? Finished? Finita la comédie? Well, we got the most important part. The nuclear weapons. No China, no Russia. That's it? Why they're so calm?
Release the peace staffs.
Release what? Kraken. We've long flying through that smoke. Imagine the crowd,
The
Trump
commemoration
supporters.
of the 80th anniversary of the victory
Well,
of the
if
Chinese
Trump
People's War
pays
of
them,
resistance against
they
the
will
Japanese
waive
aggression,
everything.
And the World Anti-Fascist War has now concluded.
Show us Putin. Show us Kim Jong-un. They are they are near. I wanted to show. Oh, and the balls.
Well, the
More
historical
plastic,
trends of
please.
peace, development, cooperation, mutual benefit remain unchanged. The Cold
It will
War
amaze me
mentality,
how organized these
hegemonism,
parades.
and
Yeah,
protectionism
of course.
continue to
It's
haunt
top
the world.
organized. Communist Party
Peace
organizes
deficit,
everything.
Development deficit, security deficit, governance deficit. Again, humankind has come to a crossroads of peace or war, dialogue or confrontation.
Everything
Will
the same as in
cooperation
Russia,
or
almost.
zero-sum
Just bigger
games?
scale.
History reminds us that the destinies of all mankind are intertwined. All countries, nations can only
Yeah, of course
maintain
I see
common
hope.
security, eliminate wars when they treat each other equally and harmoniously, watch out for each other to prevent repetition of historical tragedies.
The Chinese people firmly
Hi,
stand
Bert.
on the right side of history, on the side of human progress, stick to peaceful development, and join hands with people
Guys,
from all
what they
countries
say, what they
to build a
show
community
is not
of
peace.
shared future
I think
for
there will
humanity.
be a big war again coming.
The trend of Chinese national rejuvenation cannot be stopped. The noble cause of peaceful development of humanity will prevail.
I like the balloons, yeah. Come on, Ben, it is entertaining. It's the large scale, but oh, snipers on the roof. I see, yeah. You see? Did you see the sniper? Oh, something is flying again. You see the traces in the sky? Something is flying, freaking flying. Maybe they're just a little late, you know. Lack of coordination. Philippines just acquired Tomahawk cruise missiles. Awesome.
Well, what an impressive commemoration we have just watched there.
Absolutely.
Chinese President Xi Jinping made a keynote speech, and there was a grand military parade featuring marching soldiers, armored columns, and aerial units.
Tom will hate this.
The
Yeah, he already
meticulous
hates.
planning and precise execution of the military parade is nothing short of incredible. Soldiers marched at a precisely coordinated pace, showing the discipline and morale.
Yeah, they
of
say
the
like
PLA.
that to troll
Also
Trump's
on display
parade.
were traditional units as well as new domain forces with cutting-edge combat capabilities.
Like, look, our soldiers
All of
can
this
march
showed
and
the
yours
Chinese
no.
military's new model of forces application, such as joint command, operations,
China
and support.
tanks.
We've seen various types of military vehicles and
I just wonder, like, what's there? Oh, this is Uzbekistan president. Like all the presidents, but the main.
And all honor fallen heroes, cherish peace.
Time will soon be played.
I would like to pay high tribute to our veteran soldiers and comrades, patriots, and officers who fought in the war of only when all countries and nations treat each other as equals, coexist in peace.
Like usual, blah blah blah.
历史承载过去，
History carries the legacy of the past and inspires the
I
future.
wonder if they show like Kim Jong Un,
On a
Putin,
new
and
journey
Trump.
in a
全
new
国各族
era,
人民
Well,
Chinese
Trump.
people
要在中
of
国
all
See.
ethnic
坚
groups
强领
should,
导下，
under the strong leadership of the Communist Party of
坚
China,
持
Where the hell is that?
马克
I
思
think
列
they
宁
follow
showed.
Marxism, Leninism,
毛泽东
Mao
思想
Zedong、thought,
邓小
But
平
where
Deng
is
Xiaoping
this?
theory,
At the parade ground,
comrades.
Where was it? Like they were presented there. So Kim Jong Un visited the parade. Oh, here. Putin,
80 decades ago,
Chinese
World War II
Xi,
ended
and
with
Kim
over
Jong
100
Un. The axis of evil, the new one. Yeah, yeah. There are no other leaders nearby from what I see. Maybe this is Pakistani, maybe? No? Flag, I don't know.
100 million casualties among soldiers and civilians worldwide. Chinese casualties.
So
from
China really supports Russia everywhere, yeah? Some other leaders are behind. Kazakhstan leader, Uzbekistan leader. They are behind
35
somewhere.
million.
And they stayed
Today
like
is
this
about
on
commemorating the victory
all
in that
together
war.
at the stage.
China is today, in which they
Kuomintang high-ranking
全国
of China
Of Winnie the Pooh. You see, everyone is using the American standard. Like initially, it was the modified version of the German helmet from the Second World War, but now everyone is using this stuff for ear protection. Yeah, this is the classical helmet for Russia, for everyone. I wonder if Russian forces took part in this parade, because in Russia sometimes like foreign countries take part, but here I just wonder if someone marched. Yeah. And now they have guests, local Tucker Carlson.
Integrated into a seamless web. And I think while we see all these little bits and pieces being paraded separately, what I can
China
see
commemorates
is that
victory
China has
over
really
Japanese
reached the
aggression and
highest level of
fascism.
military
Was there fascism in Japan? I think no.
sophistication. We are AI enabled, and we have robotization and digitization.
You see, unlike in American TV, they don't care. The speakers, they don't care about their teeth. In China, this is impossible to see like that in the United States. Yeah, I heard about hospitals, Bert. Thank you.
For example, and
No, love.
I'm
It's the time of escalation between major superpowers, let's say. China is uniting with Russia and North Korea, maybe also with Iran. They have also the country's satellites in Asia, and not only. They are uniting against world order. They want to construct the new one. It is already understandable, and that brings instability, and more wars in this world, which is sad. I don't expect anything good with these guys, because China, it's very aggressive. It's like Japan in the Second World War, becoming the same. They want to expand. I don't think Xi would let anyone rain on his parade. Yeah. I think that it was just China's solo parade with no others. This is crazy.
convinced, more and more convinced, that the Chinese military is the strongest in the world.
Chinese
Next to
military
nobody.
is the
Maybe
strongest.
somewhere is well on a par with the United States.
Yeah. Absolutely the strongest. Stupid. With 600 ballistic nuclear missiles, it's not. And Trump says, oh, they want to demilitarize. They want to denuclearize. But no, it's not happening like that. Right, guys. This is the statement of Trump. The big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood the United States of America gave to China in order to help it to secure its freedom from a very unfriendly foreign invader, Japan. Many Americans died in China. Quests for victory and glory. I hope that they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. President Donald Trump. Is he joking? Was it sarcasm about conspire, or he's really happy about that? The big question is, which side will the United States be choosing? No, they're like, it's impossible for the United States not to choose China. It's not possible ideologically. Well, Trump may try, but nothing will happen from it. What do you think about journalists who told Zelenskyy is corrupt? Bipin, what kind of journalists? There are tons of journalists who say like that. Like, I can open every kind of the video. There are lots of the Ukrainian journalists who say that Zelenskyy is corrupt. Like, tons and tons every day. Is that a sensation or what? That someone said something? It's their job. They're journalists. They say on that stuff. Freedom of press, freedom of speech, even during the war times we have that. Most unhinged post. What? Trump is so funny. Yeah, Trump is funny, and at the same time it's sad, He's funny, he's sad, he's everything. Maria restoration? No, I haven't heard. I think that restoration should not happen. Because it's the waste of money. Maria is the symbol, that's it. It's not profitable airplane. It's better to restore someone's building which was ruined by war than this airplane. It's stupid to restore it. It's better to build something new, which will be capable, profitable. Maria was built for only purpose to transport Buran shuttle. That's it. There is no Buran shuttle any longer. Antonov Ruslan 124 will be way more better to build. And we don't need those kind of the symbols. Ukraine already proved that it's sovereign, that it is capable. Maria will not be restored. If it will be, or if it is restored, I would say this condition, I think it's going to be a very stupid idea. Yeah, Russia launched the attack on Ukraine this night. Shit, not good. Zelenskyy is not corrupt. I also think like that, but his circle is corrupt. It's 100%. Maybe not himself, but his circle and Yermak, they are corrupt. A lot of people don't like Zelenskyy, but not because he's corrupt. Yeah, Bones, I agree. I personally don't like him because he slept at the beginning of the war. believing that Russia wouldn't start aggression, so Ukraine was not prepared despite all of the warnings. And I will never forgive that stuff, as well as many Ukrainians. That's why I don't like him. And also because his circle is corrupt, he's dragging corrupt people into members of parliament from his party, into his own personal circle. The previous defense minister during the wartime, Reznikov, was freaking corrupt. So, yeah. I don't have like very warm feelings towards Zelenskyy, absolutely. But I still against elections because it may bring instability to Ukraine. Yeah, no alternate. No alternate, Gruden. For now, no. Then there is the peace, there will be elections, there will be, I hope, better alternates. Yeah. Dennis, you can have Trump. No, leave it yourself. We don't need the guy. Do you want to pay tariffs for Ukraine? Really? As he still process to democratize. Even in my country, we have corruption. Yeah, corruption is everywhere. Somewhere less, somewhere more. Go try be Zelenskyy. Wear his shoes. Luckily, I'm not Zelenskyy. I'm not wearing his shoes, but I don't think like why people like say that he's some sort of the god who saved Ukraine. No, it's all about Ukrainian people. Did Zelenskyy recently have a Russian spy or something in his close circle? Tamara? I haven't heard about it, honestly. Like, there was the spy which was caught in SBU, I think it was half a year ago, on high-rank official. He was working with Russia. Nolov, what are you screaming? And shoe us? I do my job. He should do his job. He didn't do his proper job at the proper time. Ukraine was not prepared for the war. It's clear, 100%. It was his statement that there, no worries, no war. We're gonna cook barbecue in May. Nope. That's why I will never forgive him, as well as many Ukrainians. Yeah, Mariupol happened because Ukraine was not prepared. You may think otherwise, but I used to live with Zelenskyy. I understand his rating, how it was before the war, roughly 16%. People disliked him a lot before the war. And just during the war, you know, we have to support president, so we support him. But you tell me, try to wear his shoes, go and try to live in Ukraine now with Zelenskyy. He is not an angel, absolutely. But still, I'm against elections. And since Donald Trump doesn't want Zelenskyy to resign, Putin wants Zelenskyy to resign, I don't want him to resign. That's that's the stuff. So far, so good. I mean, right now, at the Trump's period. I actually wanted him to change like a lot. I actually was anti-Zelenskyy, but then Donny started to tell about Zelenskyy. I changed my opinion. I say that I support him now, at least for this time. What is your thoughts on Syrsky? How I don't like Syrsky, and Zaluzhny is strange. I check out his recent interviews. He's so cringe, like he's not with us. I think he changed a lot since he obtained his job. So I wouldn't vote. Like if there would be elections between Zaluzhny and Zelenskyy, I would vote for Zelenskyy. Because Zaluzhny, before I thought differently, opposite. But now checked out lots of the Zaluzhnyi's interview. It's crazy. And Syrsky doesn't have, like, he's a Soviet commander. He's just, we shouldn't have those commanders at all. Like, young commanders from brigades, which are capable, they should command the Ukrainian army, not the old Soviet mappers, I call them, who do not go even to the front lines. Well, Syrsky goes on the front lines. I think he understands what is happening more compared to what Russian generals understand their army, but he does many mistakes. And still, I don't understand the Kursk operation. Like, what's the outcome? I think Zelensky has people in mind still. No. Yeah. What about it? Oh, no. Klitschko he was the project. I don't know if he's still like that. By the way, Zelensky was the project as well of Ukrainian oligarchs, Kolomoisky. But later he raged against those oligarchs. Happens. But why Zelensky actually was elected? Because there was the character created on TV show. It's called Goloborodko, yeah? It's called, what's the show name? I forgot. Yeah, I didn't watch it honestly. Where Zelensky, as an actor, played the role of Ukrainian president, and people, they voted for this guy Goloborodko, who was like the math teacher in the series, and so they expected one thing, but then Zelensky really became president. Different stuff started to happen. Like, there's still corruption. There were stupid laws introduced, so that's why he had this low rating before the war. People didn't like him, really. But war changed everything. I think Syrsky has family in Russia. Yes. Mother, father, I think, yeah. I'm surprised FSB haven't come after them. I think they are not speaking. Like, they have separate lives. Yeah, Zelensky has charisma, yeah. He knows how to play. He's always playing. He's comedian, actor. No, he is not a hero. Absolutely. Zelensky is not a hero. He is a president who does more or less okay job right now and who failed the initial part of war. Heroes are Ukrainian warriors, not Zelensky. Or Ukrainian people in the global resistance. Politics are shitters. All of the politicians are fuckers. Zelensky played his role, and you seems to believe, Nolan. You seems to believe this. He does what he does, but now it's okay. Like, he tries to obtain military support. That's all he does. But he's not a perfect president. Yeah. But if there are elections, I probably would vote for him. But he is not a hero. No one... yeah, but, no one is perfect. I agree with you, Surfer. But then everyone was telling, the war will be in 2 months. The war will be in 1 month. And at the same time, official from Zelensky's party... they demand the way out of Crimea, so remove the mines, and no one is punished. What the hell? So, what kind of hero? Everyone was screaming, like, intelligence. Americans were saying Russia will attack. Europeans were saying Russia will attack. Zelensky comes, tells Ukrainians, we're gonna cook barbecue in May. No worries. People were staying in their homes, then Russians started offensive. Like, maybe people would left their homes in Bucha, in Irpin, in Mariupol. Why Mariupol happened? Because the way was demined. Why people stay there? Because they thought they believed in the Ukrainian government, right? Or what? In Ukrainian media, they all say about the hoax. Oh, those are news, in the Washington Post, in New York Times, they write bullshit. It's just a political game, blah, blah, blah. Remember it. I can show you, I think. Yeah? Can I show you? By the time Ukrainian patriots and together with Chernenko, they were saying, come on, we need to prepare. We need to dig the trenches. We need to mobilize army. Russia is up to attack. No one listened. Ukrainian government is fucking stupid. I hate Ukrainian government. Ask people in army. They don't like Ukrainian government. I speak with them. I know. I used to live with Zelenskyy. You don't, Nola, okay? You didn't live with Zelenskyy. I used to. You don't know what is happening there, really. Fuck, I cannot find it in... I don't have the keyboard in Ukrainian, just in English. It's hard to trace it. To check out, to give the character, you need to understand the person from the very beginning on his actions. Or her actions. In this case, Zelenskyy. So it happened, this parade happened, 3 years ago, but what's the exact date? I think 1 month or something like that, or a few weeks before the war had started. People understood, Ukrainians will resist, and they asked by that time, it's before war, yeah? And they asked the government to dig down the trenches. And Chernenko was asking, big volunteers were asking Ukrainian government to dig down the trenches that Russians are going to attack. And it's happened not just in Kiev, those parades or protests, let's say. In Kharkiv it happened, but Ukrainian government did nothing. Fuck, what is happening? Just a moment. But it's hard to find really on YouTube. I hope I'll find it on other sources. Like Zelensky's chief of staff, we didn't believe Russia would invade Ukraine until very last. What? Like, we had this data from Andriy Yermak, yeah, he's a close friend of Zelensky. They are like brothers, and people hate Yermak. We didn't believe Russia would invade Ukraine. Yeah. Everyone was telling about it. Like, why YouTube is so stupid? Why does it give me shorts? Fuck. Why does give me only shorts? Okay, let's do it in a search bar. It doesn't show in the search. Very strange. Is it top secret?
Дорогі громадяни України, нам притаманні риси, які водночас є нашими і сильними сторонами, і слабкими місцями. Це сміливість.
So he speaks Ukrainian here, no English. Okay, so
Можемо робити дурниці. За секунду дійти до категоричного висновку. Вірити чуткам, а не офіційним джерелам.
Вірити чуткам, а не офіційним джерелам. So you believe rumors, but not official sources.
Не відчувати, коли грають нашими емоціями.
They are playing with our emotions. Everything of that he says about some sort of the hype, yeah, in the press, hype from Western politicians about the coming war. And this was filmed like maybe months before the war or something.
Розуміти, коли маніпулюють нашими думками.
Manipulating our thoughts.
А головне, не пам'ятати, як наступали на ці самі граблі багато-багато разів і багато років. Зараз всі новини та інформаційний простір сповнені схожими повідомленнями.
Now the informational field is full of the same messages.
Про війну з Росією, про те, що вторгнення може початись прямо завтра,
That the war with Russia is possible, that Russian intervention may happen anytime,
будь-якої миті, і це вже
any moment,
точно,
and it is 100%.
воно відрізняється від того точно, яке було місяць тому, і точно минулого року.
But there is no difference between this probability 1 month ago and 1 year ago.
А ще точно те, що ми нібито не готові, але начебто
And we are not ready, they say.
нас не залишать самих. Всі у світі нас підтримують, але всі в Україні будуть мобілізовані. Хоча все це ще не точно.
Like, everyone will support us, everyone in Ukraine will be mobilized, he says, like with what they're saying. But it's not like real, yeah?
Всю цю риторику у офіційних політичних заявах, у новинах ЗМІ, у чутках біля під'їзду об'єднує одна річ.
All of those rumors from those yellow press and from blah blah blah, how to say this stuff in English, like then people gossips, yeah, then people speak between each other at the benches, at the smoking places, so he called it like that. So everything of that is united by
Одне логічне питання.
One logical question.
А в чому, власне, новина?
What are the news?
Хіба це не є реальність вже 8 років?
Is it not real for long 8 years? Yeah, it's not real. Back then it was fighting just in Donbass, and here's the full-scale intervention into Ukraine. That's the difference. What they wrote in 2022, there were just few of the casualties, maybe once per 3 months, one casualty per 3 months in Donbass or something. This is completely different stuff. And he says, like Zelenskyy says, oh, it's happening long at 8 years. But it's different.
Хіба вторгнення почалось не у 2014 році?
Didn't it happen in 2014?
Хіба загроза війни з'явилась тільки зараз?
Is there a threat of the war which exists right now? Yes. Yes. And intelligence was given the information for Ukrainian government, like real documents.
Ці ризики існують вже не один день, і вони не стали більшими.
Those risks are out there for a very long time. Yeah, I agree. Like Russia could attack Ukraine at any moment during long 8 years. But before February 2022, Russia was on military drills freaking preparing for this mission, full-scale intervention. So there was the change.
Більшим став ажіотаж навколо них. І зараз активно нападають не на нашу землю.
So he says, like, there is lots of the speculation about those risks and what?
А на ваші нерви.
And they are not attacking. So now there is no intervention on Ukrainian land, but there is intervention on your nerves.
Щоб у вас було постійне відчуття тривоги.
For you to be always nervous.
А також емоції інвесторів та кон'юнктура для бізнесу.
And emotions of investors and conjunctura and trade field for businessmen.
Послабити Україну, щоб примусити до поступок, створити такий фон, щоб наше «ні» звучало слабше.
So he said, it's all creation of the informational field to weaken Ukraine, to lower down our voice.
Зараз єдиний привід для паніки, якщо після 8 років війни ми будемо досі поддаватися паніці.
The only reason to panic is that we will panic. Yeah, after all of what happened, since 2014, he said.
Знімати з рахунків гроші, знімати все з полиць.
Take money from our bank accounts, take money from the grocery stores.
Скидати всім друзям і знайомим фейки та страшилки.
Share fake news and horror news to the friends.
Всім нашим громадянам, особливо похилого віку, потрібно це зрозуміти.
All of our citizens should understand that, especially those who are elderly.
Потрібно видихнути.
It's time to exhale
Спокоїтись.
and be calm.
Не бігти по гречку і сірники.
Do not run for matches and food.
Всім ЗМІ бути саме засобами масової інформації, а не масової істерії.
And media should be, he said, should be mass information and not mass hysteria.
В гонитві за хайпом не допомагати ворогу.
Do not help our enemies if you run for the hype.
Повідомляти щодня про те, що війна може бути завтра. Це
They call every day that the war might be tomorrow. Like he's saying, like it is some sort of impossible, yeah?
точно її не зупинить.
What?
Зупинить. Може бути завтра. Це точно її не зупинить.
So telling that the war will be tomorrow will not stop it. Here I don't understand.
Всім нашим партнерам бути дієвими і не на словах. Важлива не лише інформація про те, що може зробити Росія, а й про те, що в цьому випадку буде робити світ.
As for our partners, it's very important not just the information, like what Russia might do, but what the world could do in this case, like how react. Well, here I agree, but you should listen to that information that Russia will attack, and do not demine the road from Crimea at least, and dig the trenches, consolidate the forces, because by the time Russia attacked, only with the help of Zelenskyy, by the way, Ukraine managed to defend Kyiv, because he was the only general who said, no, something is wrong here. We're gonna prepare at least some forces in Kyiv region, but the main forces were sent to Donbass, the Ukrainian army in Donbass. But Zelenskyy said, no, we're gonna prepare some of the forces in Kyiv region. And not because of Zelenskyy, but because of Zelenskyy. The conditions were created that Russia was stopped before reaching Kyiv.
Без абстрактних їм це не минеться, а називаючи конкретні санкції, конкретні заходи, на які готовий весь світ. Україна не хоче війни.
Ukraine doesn't want war.
Але Україна повинна завжди бути готовою.
And Ukraine should be ready, but it wasn't.
До неї.
Yeah.
Не боїться, бо захищає свою землю. Не здасться, бо це наша земля.
Ukraine will not surrender because it's our land. Here I agree, but you should be prepared.
Тікати нікуди.
Nowhere to run, yeah, of course.
І це не новина. Україна постійно
And those are not the news.
посилює свої оборонні можливості.
Ukraine reinforces its military capabilities. Yeah, but wasn't prepared somehow.
У нас сильна, смілива, готова кожного дня до всього армія. І це
Our army, he said, is ready for everything.
не новина.
But somehow they were not, they stayed in their bases. At the beginning of the war, they stayed in their bases. Just because Zelenskyy, they, like several of the military battalions or regiments were prepared. That's it. National guards were sent to the eastern side.
Кожен мій ранок починається з інформації про реальну ситуацію на Донбасі і поблизу
Every my morning goes with information about the real situation in Donbass
наших кордонів. Ми знаємо
and the situation near to our borders.
всі можливі загрози і розуміємо всі можливі наші дії у відповідь.
We know every threats and understand every our actions just in case.
І це не новина.
And those are not the news.
Ми розраховуємо передусім тільки самі на себе.
We
Не
count on
тому, що у нас
ourselves.
немає підтримки, вона є, а тому, що у нас є гідність і є гордість.
We are proud, so we count on ourselves.
І саме через це у нас є партнери. І рівень
And we have partners,
їхньої підтримки і міжнародної коаліції високий, як
and they are ready to help.
ніколи. І це не новина. Ми про все знаємо, ми до всього готові, але робимо все, аби врешті нам це не знадобилося.
And we do everything for not to make it happen, like for defense not to be needed. Like we do everything to prevent it. But how can you prevent it if Putin started the war?
Робимо все для вирішення дипломатичним шляхом.
Oh, yeah. We
Робимо
use
все
everything to make it diplomatic way.
для настання миру в Україні. Що робити вам?
What should you do? Like to the people, he said. What should you do? Що робити вам?
Тільки одне.
Only one thing.
Зберігати спокій,
Be calm,
холодну голову,
cold head,
впевненість у своїх силах,
be sure about yourself,
у своїй армії,
in your army, be sure about your army, yeah.
у нашій Україні.
And in our Ukraine, okay.
Не накручувати самих себе.
Do not накручувати. do not excite yourself over the news about the possible war.
На все реагувати мудро,
React on everything with wisdom,
не емоційно,
no emotions,
головою,
with your
не
head.
серцем.
No heart, react with your head.
Не кричати «все пропало»,
Do not shout everything is wasted,
а знати, що все під контролем
and understand that everything is under control,
і все йде по плану.
and everything goes according to plan.
Не думати тривожно і постійно, що ж буде завтра,
Do not worry about what will happen tomorrow,
що ж буде в майбутньому,
what will be in the future,
а знати.
and understand.
Розповідаю.
I will tell you what will be.
22 січня
On the 22nd January, so it was like 1 month before,
ми з вами відзначимо День Соборності України.
we will celebrate some of the Ukrainian, I don't know how to translate it, guys, so some Ukrainian celebration.
Ми відкриємо Запорізький міст.
We will open Zaporizhia Bridge. Zaporizhia freaking bridge, okay. One more bridge was building in Zaporizhia.
За рік збудуємо найбільшу трасу в Україні від Ужгорода до Луганська.
And we're gonna build the biggest highway in Ukraine this year from Uzhgorod to Lugansk. Lugansk is occupied by the time.
Будемо будувати, як завжди, дороги, мости, школи,
We're gonna build roads, bridges, schools,
стадіони,
stadiums,
вагони, літаки,
carriages, airplanes,
танки.
and
Вакцинуємо
tanks.
переважну більшість населення. В квітні
We're gonna vaccinate the majority of people. It was the COVID time.
відзначимо Великдень.
In April, we're gonna celebrate. What's this name of the celebration? Easter.
В травні, як завжди, сонце, вихідні, шашлик.
In May, sun, vacation, barbecue,
День перемоги.
celebration of the Victory Day.
А далі літо.
And next summer,
Ми будемо здавати ЗНО.
we're gonna pass pupils will pass exams for the school.
Вступати до університетів.
They will go to universities.
Планувати відпустку.
They will go on holidays.
Копати городи.
Dig. Okay, horoda, it means agriculture, yeah.
Одружуватись, гуляти весілля.
Marry, enjoy, blah, blah, blah. That's his plan for the year, 2022.
А далі осінь, де, сподіваюсь, ми будемо вболівати за нашу збірну на чемпіонаті світу з футболу.
And in autumn, we're gonna watch the game of the Football World Cup, where we're gonna support our Ukrainian football team
Футболу в Катарі.
in
А далі
Qatar.
зима. І будемо готуватись
And winter,
до новорічних свят.
there's gonna be celebration for New Year.
Як завжди, як цього року,
As always, as this year, like 2021, yeah? Or 2022.
31 грудня усією родиною зберемось за столом.
And we're gonna celebrate New Year. So, yeah, that's the forecast of Zelenskyy, yeah? Do not believe in this hoax. Do not la. Nothing new. Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014. That's his message. Sorry, guys, I didn't put attention to your comments. God bless everyone, Nolan, not Zelenskyy only. So Zelenskyy was doing this in Ukrainian. Yeah, guys, you don't know lots of the stuff. We, as Ukrainians, we understand more and deeper than you think. You may have your own opinion, from this mass media corporations, which present Zelenskyy in one light, but we know this guy deeper. Because one thing is to watch news, the other thing is to live in a country with him as a president and analyze what is happening. He doesn't look good in a suit without a beard. It's just a style, Everything is just a style. I don't like lots of the stuff which is happening in Ukraine, especially the attitude towards people, mobilization, and everything. You always listen to Ukrainian first? You understand Ukrainian? Or you translate? I just want to tell you that do not create any sort of the idol in your life. Like my advice, I don't know whether you need this advice or not, but there are no good people really for this position. Every people have their own flaws. And I think that Zelenskyy should have spent the time in his comedy project, more than becoming president. Because the beginning of the war was failed completely, and what Russia occupied on South was not because of Russia, but because of Ukrainian misaction. They were not prepared at all. Even though in this speech he said, we are prepared, yeah. But later on we knew the real story, yeah. Like, I also suggest to check out Ukrainskaya Pravda source. So the enemy covered rather large distance with virtually no resistance, practically without firing. They marched from Crimea and ended up on western outskirts of city of Mariupol. Denys Davydov was the commander of the Azov regiment, told Ukrainskaya Pravda in spring 2022 while defending Mariupol. So Russians went, if we check out, not here. If we check out the map again, so Russians went from Crimea through Armyansk and through this road. You see this road is very tiny, especially over here. It was mined for some time after 2014 annexation, but later on was demined. Then Zelenskyy got power. And this road as well. Well, this is hard. Like here, it could be mined because the border actually was, here it could be mined. So Russians went to Kherson with no fights. Nothing was here. No trenches, nothing. Absolutely. No forces deployed. No one. Zero. Absolutely. Russians went here. They went to Kherson, occupied Kherson. That's it. No fires were shot here. And only in Mykolaiv, with the help of the local mayor, there was some of the resistance. Russians tried to enter the Mykolaiv city. Resistance organized by local local authorities who were not receiving any sort of the signals from the government of Ukraine. Mayor Kim, by the way, I think partially ethnical Korean. And the Russians had to bypass Mykolaiv. They tried to land forces from airplanes, by the way, but they were imprisoned. So the fights for Mykolaiv continued for several months, I think for 2 months or 3 months. And the Russians started to bypass Mykolaiv. Okay, we're going to occupy Mykolaiv a little later. We're going to go to Voznesensk. And from Voznesensk, we're going to go lower to Odessa. Because here it's not really possible to go here if you do not occupy Mykolaiv, yeah? Mykolaiv is on the way to this road. So they went here, okay, we're gonna go like this. The plan changed because we're marching so hard. But no, it didn't happen. Too much extended supply lines. So without Mykolaiv resistance, guys, Russians would be close to Odessa. And Kherson was taken just like that. No fights. As well as this entire territory. Melitopol, no fights. Everything, no fights. Only Mariupol was fighting, and only because Azov regiment was placed there. By the time, I think, Azov brigade, or maybe, no, they were regiment already. And only Azov defended south. Russia concentrated lots of the forces to get Mariupol. But Russians were at Mariupol just like that, in a matter of 2 days, I think, occupying all of those cities. Ukraine was freaking not prepared. And it's the failure of Zelenskyy. As the president of Ukraine, he bears responsibility for it 100%. And I will never forgive it, as well as, I think, most of the Ukrainians. That's the real picture. So he's not hero at all. Because even because of this shit, you cannot call him a hero. Because it's incompetence. No, Nolath, it seems like you are brainwashed, you know? And you created some sort of the idol which doesn't exist. It exists only in your head. So there is possible rapid occupation, and in particular for not blowing bridges. Yeah, the bridges were not blown up in Kherson as well. In a conversation with Ukrainska Pravda, Ukraine's defense minister Alexei Reznikov argued, Reznikov is a corrupt piece of shit. I wonder why Zelenskyy appointed him and why he is not persecuted yet. That is a purely military issue. Wow, what do we have here? Come on. Should I close now? Let her be here. It's more cozy. Someone came up with the narrative and conjured the idea that someone could have given orders to blow them up, bridges, not blow them up or determine them. That's a purely military story, a super story, Reznikov assured us. What? The military command has referred to the statement that suggested there was a deliberate demining is just rumors. So, of course, what they also can say, yeah? The bridge was mined, but they were facing enemy forces, and they were 15 times superior. So it seems like, yeah, there was explosives, but they didn't kaboom because there were more Russian. What? It doesn't matter how many forces you have, just a single man can blow up the bridge or the way out for Russians from Crimea. It has been publicly disclosed that a criminal investigation is underway to the events of 24th of February. Yeah, 24th, sorry, I said 22nd, 24th. In Chonhar, however, security officials did not reveal details. So why did the investigation started about Chonhar? Chonhar is the way out from Crimea, those ways, which should have been kaboomed, but they were not. UP learned from its sources that the investigation began in April 2022. It's being conducted by the State Bureau of Investigation together with the Security Service of Ukraine, which is under the authority of the Office of President. Yeah, Office of President will investigate its own, its own guys. The process is being conducted as negligent treatment of military service and high treason. But still no one is... Yeah, there was one general actually responsible for that, for the southern region, but somehow he was caputed. Maybe they don't need like lots of the evidence that it wasn't really prepared, the defense wasn't prepared. Law enforcement officers are investigating possible negligence by the Southern Command, and one of the generals in the Southern Command later on was caputed. They say that it was the military that did not organize measures to mine the structures, maybe mine the structures, bridges, dams appropriately. There is nothing concerning, because it's auto-translate, guys, originally it's Ukrainian. There is nothing concerning the role of civil authorities or traitors among the military in the short description. So there was the case started, but no conclusion. But as Ukrainskaya Pravda discovered, for more than a year, the investigation has not questioned the main witnesses of events in Chonhar. So investigation is going, witnesses not asked, investigation is under control by Zelenskyy. His name is unknown to general public, like someone is guilty, but he's unknown. The witness is questioned is Ivan Shestyakovsky, 48-year-old soldier who served in the border of Crimea. It has he who, this is auto-translate. On the fateful night of 24 February was supposed to blow up the bridge. So yeah, there is some 40 years old soldier, one guy, he didn't blow out the bridge, so Russians went and occupied half of Ukraine, yeah? Or some 10 or 15%, yeah, of the territory. That's crazy. Where is the protection? Some protection mechanism for it. In a conversation with Up, the soldier talks about whether there were mines at Chonhar, what happened in the site during the first hours of the full-scale invasion, how he was left alone to blow up the bridges, and finally why they were never blown up. The soldier also speaks of his experience during the long year in the Russian captivity and his subsequent return to Ukraine. Oh, so they went and captured him. What follows? The words of defendant Chonhar Ivan Shestyakovsky. This conversation is the first serious publication about invasion and defense of the South. This one concerns only the attempt to blow up bridges in Chonhar. So they filmed the video with him. 7 Marine Separate Battalion and joined the army, in particular anti-terrorist operation. In the fall of 2025, I began to serve in Chonhar. I held the positions of chief, so just a few months before war started, chief of platoon sergeant, deputy of platoon commander. Before the start of the full-scale invasion, we conducted exercises. They were held fairly often. Coordination training personnel as military is always preparing. But at the beginning of 2022, we received instructions to intensify observations of possible provocations. Personally, I thought maybe we would be some kind of provocation. I hope they would not risk invasion. There will be, yeah. There were no special fortifications. You see, there were no special fortifications prepared in Chonhar. But everything there had been mined in advance since 2000. So he says that it was mined. All bridges, railway bridge to bridges Chonhar were mined. Okay, he says it was mined because others says it was not. Before the full-scale war, the mines were checked. I could be wrong, but it was about a week and a half or two before invasion. There was log where every time someone conducted a check, this would be entitled as a log, nothing. So the log, he means they write about the situation. There was no demining, he repeats. But again, it's one soldier, and he was returned back from captivity. So maybe he cannot say a lot. How exactly those bridges were mined, if something only the sappers knew. only those people who mined and served these brigades. I personally knew where the mines were located, and I was instructed to how to connect it all. And I had to say to blow up the bridge. And I had to stay to blow up bridges. The night 23-24 February is still vividly before my eyes. On 23rd, there were already some movements by Russians on peninsula. Everyone was waiting, and we were a bundle of nerves. Nobody slept, just maybe napped a bit. We were woken up around 3. The commander senior officer position, I went connect the devices to blow up the bridges. I remained there, and he was engaged in managing personnel. Everything began with mortar shelling from Crimea that struck our positions and positions of the border guards. The order to blow up bridges had to be given to me by immediate commander on the site, who in turn had to receive an order from Syrian senior officers. Sappers developed a special plan. There were envelopes that would be opened if necessary. Those envelopes contained instructions for connecting explosives. We ran at connection, and I was left to carry out the explosion. There was no communication as our radios did not work. The commander was engaged in managing the personnel, running from position to another to give orders. Explosives were already detonating. It was very loud. So Russian explosions. So you would not be able to hear anyone. Therefore, I made my own mind, took the decision personally to blow up the bridges. About 10 minutes after the shelling began, I decided to blow up the bridges. I tried to blow them up, but there was no explosion. I should have seen it as I was standing there near the bridges. I tried to reconnect the charge to check the wires again. Maybe there had been some error. Something had been connected incorrectly. Reconnected, tried again. I did this 3 times, but there was no explosion. I am not a sapper, but there are 2 possible explanations. Either a sabotage group had arrived, or what kind of the sabotage group on the Ukrainian territory? And demolition wires managed on a high control Ukrainian territory. So it means that if they arrived there, it means that the job was done poorly, yeah. And then it was ordered, and we had to retreat so they retreated from the area. It was agreed that if something happens, if we're unable to evacuate, I would leave in my personal vehicle. That's what happened. I did not have time to leave with everyone. Therefore, I was in the process of leaving with 2 more conscripts by car. Then we left. The shooting began. Then the shot from the grenade launcher landed right in front of us. The car was blown aside. I was wounded. The car was damaged, so it's no longer possible to go anywhere. Together with conscripts, I tried to move away on foot as far as possible. So conscripts, yeah, Ukraine kept capable forces at the border. Freaking conscripts. At the very important part. Blah. Then we were joined in 3 border guards who also did not have time to leave with their units. So they basically, like main units, run away. I saw that Russian tanks to enter southern Ukraine, and then the air defense came in. Mobile communications were still working, so I contacted the company commander and reported him. As first, we continue how many and what kind of vehicles were advancing from my side. I did everything I could. About 4 p.m., we were surrounded, so that we were nowhere to go, and we were taken prisoners. Here he says about his like it was the way out for Russian army to occupy South. My immediate commander in Chonhar has died. Of the other witnesses, those 2 events, only one more is alive, a sailor. I was rewarded. I don't think it's necessary. Those who deserve it should be rewarded. My mission was not accomplished. Why didn't the bridges blow up? I know the answer. Either it was a work of a Russian sabotage group or wires were damaged by mortar. I have no other answer. He says that there were mines. Let's try to find more info about it. Adam, thank you so much for support. Dennis, I watch your videos nearly every day. Thank you for making such great updates. Hearing you gives hopes to... Yeah, I hope so. I try to be positive. And here, like, I will not speak about this stuff on my main channel, but here I can speak about everything. Just a moment. Yeah, ask ChatGPT. Were the way outs from Crimea demanded by Ukraine before the full-scale war? Try to search on the internet. I need details why Russia managed to occupy South with almost no fights. I think it will find something in the internet. Like, it's, after all, the powerful engine, I hope. Because before, like, many media sources say that it was demined, and some volunteers were also saying, that's why I also was saying, but this guy, he said that there were mines, but he didn't check those. Like, he said that there were those, but he didn't check those personally, from what I understood. And then that's why I watch your reports. I always tell it like it is, no propaganda. Yeah, I think, yeah, Greg, I don't have idols. I want to know the truth. Short answer, partially. So partially it was demined. Ukraine had some approaches from Crimea mined before February 24, but not all. Not all. And key crossings were left intact or couldn't be blown on in time. Here's what credible sources say. Chonhar crossing, road Crimea, mined since 2014, but not detonated. Yeah, Chonhar, so it was mined. Once Russian forces got close, they used firepower to prevent demolition attempts. But we don't know why they didn't explode. Bridges over Dnipro and Kherson, Nova Kakhovka. Those are the key bridges. Let me show you. So Kherson Bridge, Antonovsky Bridge, stayed, later on destroyed by Russia mostly. Ukraine struck it with, I think, HIMARS at first. And later on the Russians, then they evacuated, they destroyed it. I think they used barges for evacuation, really, because Ukraine and Russia destroyed the bridge, let's say. But during the initial phase of war, occupation of Ukraine, it was there intact, not blown up. Kakhovka, this bridge, was also out there, later on was destroyed. But Russians managed to cross Dnipro River in Kakhovka bridges and Antonovsky Bridge. Bridges Dnipro and Kherson and Nova Kakhovka, Antonovsky Bridge and Kakhovka hydropower plant, dam road. not mined. Russia later on blown up this Kakhovka dam. You might remember, into 2023, I think it happened. According to Andrei Sokolov, the commander of the South, he also said he lacked explosives equipment. Lack of the explosive equipment. How Zelenskyy said in his address, "We are ready, no worries." But Ukraine deploys in Chonhar, as we understand, conscript soldiers, 18 years old boys with no fighting experience, absolutely. With no experience at all, let's say, like that. And here, no explosives. A very good freaking preparation. Equipment, no equipment, and lack of the engineering manpower to mine them in time. Kyiv Independent article, Ukrainian media. Canal bridges, North Crimean Canal, Kakhovka Canal, were mined and guarded in 2014, but later demined. Okay. Crimean Canal, it's this. Oh no, this Chonhar, it was mined, but this was demined. So it was correct information, but later was demined because there were not enough troops to guard the charges. What the fuck? And you're telling me, guys, that Zelenskyy is a great hero, huh? Or Ukrainian government is awesome, yeah? That would wait as a criminal charge, I would say, not the heroism. You guys, some of you, I do not say all, but we believe in some magical figure created by media. Ukraine resists. Ukrainian soldiers resist. What's the preparation? What's the fucking preparation? All of that, all of this freaking territory on the south, and Mariupol with tens of thousands of civilians killed. It all happened because of this misaction, because Ukraine was not prepared. Evacuation was not organized of civilians. Ukraine wasn't prepared. Russians attack from this side, Russians attack from this side, and just because Azov soldiers who acted independently, more or less, they managed to defend at least Mariupol for some time, so civilians had time to leave it. And mayor left Mariupol, like all of those politician freaks, they left their cities mostly. Only Kim stayed in Mykolaiv. Mariupol mayor ran away. Moreover, before the war, he ordered to bury down some of the defense. Why should they need the defense lines, all right? Right. During the war started, but many remained unusable. Ammunition was stored in a nearby depot. Some bridges were remined or destroyed after the war started, but many remained usable to Russians. Yenichinsk-Arbat Spit crossing, Ukrainian Marine Vitaly Shakun blew the bridge on February, like one bridge was blown up, sacrificing himself to slow the advance. The notable exception were the key crossing destroyed. So from all of those 1, 2, 3, this way was demined, Armyansk. This Chonhar allegedly mined, but this part allegedly mined, but didn't explode somehow. I already told you the story. And only this crossing in Arbatskaya Strelka was blown up. Our soldier unfortunately sacrificed his life. He is a hero. He is a true hero. But of course, one line from 3, Russians just sent more forces through this way or this way. So, but he tried to stop Russians, so he is a hero. And he's the hero because of stupid action of Ukraine. He would have stayed alive if the resistance or everything was organized properly. Why Russia advanced through the south so fast with relatively little fighting? The huge force imbalance in the start. Solkov said he had 150 combat-ready troops facing 20,000. Russians with superior artillery aircraft equipment that left only handful. So Ukraine didn't expect Russian assault from Crimea. Ukraine didn't expect Russian assault from all of those northern parts, and that's why people were caught off guard in Bucha. Don't worry, don't panic. Like in this year, you're gonna be shashliki, so barbecue in May. We're gonna do activities. Do not believe those rumors. And guys, civilians were killed. Yeah. Mine is neutralized by Russian fires. What? So yeah, huge crossings, intact crossing, rapid armor. Yeah, intact crossing. So some of areas were finally demined, as we see. Rapid armor flow with Chonhar bridges mined but intact and Dnipro bridges unmined. Russia could push columns quickly off Crimea before demolition teams could act under fire. Mines neutralized by Russian fires. Russians used rocket artillery strikes to clean marked minefields. Weak prepared defense in Kherson Oblast. Unlike Donbass, yeah, Donbass was fortified, but it wasn't Zelenskyy, it was the previous Ukrainian government which mined everything and built huge trenches for many years. That's why Putin still cannot occupy Donbass. Unlike Donbass, there weren't robust pre-built fortifications. Yeah, land. Then the attack began. There was no layered line to fall back on the west of Dnipro. Yeah, communications and logistics friction. Russia jammed radius. Yeah, it was reported. Ukrainian units sometimes relied on ad hoc messaging. What does it mean? Complicating demolition orders. Not receiving demolition orders. The Black Sea blockade and contested air also. Okay, it's understandable. Insider subversion in the south. Ukraine later asserted the charges of SBU officials, including Kherson ex-chief, for alleged treason collaboration. Zelenskyy fired SBU chief and prosecutor general, citing hundreds of treason cases, factors that, according to investigative reporting, degraded Ukraine's initial South security posture. Bottom line, we're always out where. So yeah, I said where those demined chats relative to the sources. Yeah, those are all the links. It's analyzed. They were out of Crimea, demined by Ukraine before full-scale war. In several places, yes. Canal bridges saw charges removed pre-war due to lack of guards. While Chonhar remained mined but wasn't blown in time. Key Dnipro crossings weren't mined at all. Combined with force imbalance, suppressed comms and compromised local security, that's why Russia achieved a swift early penetration into Kherson, Zaporizhia region with relatively few set-piece battles. So it was a treason, it was incompetence, and who bears responsibility? Tell me who is in charge of everything? Who appoints defense minister and SBU fellas? Bakanov. Still, he is some sort of the Ivan Bakanov. Let's ask again ChatGPT, because I think it will. Ivan Bakanov, and who is connected to the childhood friend and long-time collaborator with Zelensky. Ivan Bakanov is a childhood friend of Vladimir Zelensky. The two have known each other since their youth, and later co-founded the comedy corporation Kvartal 95, where Zelensky worked almost all of his life. Bakanov served as troublehead Zelensky led on screen. Political ally and campaign leader. Then Zelensky entered politics. Bakanov was instrumental. He became the head of the Servant of People. Yes, Servant of People is the name of the president's party, where they filmed the series where Zelensky played the role of president. Founded in 2017 and led Zelensky's successful presidential campaign. So because of this movie, Zelensky became president. It was PR, huge PR. Rise to head SBU, rapid appointment. So then Zelensky became a president. He appointed his childhood friend on a position, very serious position, on the position of the it's the analog SBU. It's the analog of Ukrainian FBI, of American FBI in Ukraine. Shortly after Zelensky inauguration, they appointed Bakanov as a first deputy head of SBU, while presidential decree, he was appointed by Zelensky by decree, grooming him of full leadership. The head of SBU, he was there till July 2022. On August 19, Ukrainian parliament officially approved Bakanov, but parliament was already with the Zelensky party as majority, so of course they appointed him. Making him a key figure, also citing on the National Security and Defense Council. Zelensky even described Bakanov as the most honest SBU chief in Ukrainian history, reflecting personal trust and political alignment. But actually, it's what's happening with Donald Trump. And you're my childhood friend. You'll be the SBU, the head of the SBU. So it's the selection of people not according to their competency, but according to their closure to you as the president, which is called negative selection, because after all, they're incompetent. Pandora prepares reports exposed that both Zelensky and Bakanov and their chief aide Sergei Shefir, Sergei Shefir is the other story of corrupt encirclement of Zelensky, used offshore companies in tax havens, British Virgin Islands, Cyprus, Basel. Some holdings experienced London real estate. This was controversial in light of Zelensky anti-corruption platform. Security features and infiltration by pro-Russian agents. During the Russian full-scale invasion, it is emerged that numerous of SBU personnel were compromised. Oleg Kulinish, head of SBU's Crimea department and once a key aide under Bakanov, was arrested in July 2022 on treason charges after decades of undermining counterintelligence. So Bakanov's deputy in Crimea, why he kept him? High-level deflections and collaboration with SBU rank became evident across regions, threatening the agency's integrity and effectiveness of defense. Sorry guys, cannot read properly. Dismissal and aftermath. On July 2022, Zelensky dismissed Bakanov via decree, citing the alarming number of collaborators with SBU. The move was made amid active invasion and internal security breakdown. Media framing. Internal outlets, Guardian, Washington Post, emphasize his status Zelensky's childhood friend and political weight on seeking such a trusted ally. His removal was the part a larger effort is cleaning house Zelenskyy. As the Russian forces advanced, the head of the SBU of Kherson office ordered a retreat from the city, directly contravening presidential directives. Additionally, Igor Sadokhin, the head of the local anti-terrorism center, was later uncovered as the long-time infiltrator and agent who allegedly shared minefield locations and flight path with the Russian General Andrei Naumov. The head of the SBU Internal Security Directorate fled Ukraine, only to be detained in Serbia months later. Many of these failures occurred under Bakanov's leadership, raising serious questions about his command oversight. So, as I tell you, negative selection. My childhood friend! Don't you want to become a head of the very, important security agency, the most important, I would say, SBU in Ukraine? Russia, we are in war with Russia since 2014. That's what Zelenskyy says, yeah? And I want you. You're my friend. You're incompetent, stupid fuck, but I'm gonna appoint you because you're my friend. And that is what happens. He appointed deputies which were Russian spies. Super. Synthetic vulnerabilities and infiltration. A string of compromises across the SBU regional leadership, Crimea and Kherson, exposed deep penetration by pro-Russian operatives. Investigations reported that as FSB-driven agents had been placed in strategic SBU positions, severely undermining Ukraine's ability to resist. Bakanov's absence during the invasion. Unavoidably, the critical days. On February 24th, 2022, then the full-scale invasion began. Bakanov, the head of the SBU, left Kyiv for at least 3 days. Multiple law enforcement sources indicated that SBU staff couldn't reach him during that critical window. War started, okay, I go. He raised major concerns over leadership paralysis during the invasion of crucial opening. Political fallout and accountability. Suspicion tied to internal collaboration. On July 17, 2022, the president suspended, shortly afterward dismissed Bakanov along. He had to do it because there were lots of the spies, and which means Bakanov is incompetent. And there was no comment from Bakanov in the press. Then the war had started, for many, many months. Particularly the arrest of Oleg Kulinish, of Crimean department. Maybe he demined everything, or caused bombs or mines not to explode, Criminal investigations opened. In March 2023, the State Bureau of Investigation, SBI, confirmed that criminal processing had been opened against Bakanov related to Ukraine's occupation, though no details have been made public. Reception of betrayal given in the South. Some political commentary directly accused Bakanov of failing to defend southern Ukraine. A widely circulated line reads, Bakanov has been punished for giving... Punished? He wasn't punished. He is free. He is working as a lawyer for giving up the South. Bottom line, critics and investigators accuse Bakanov of mismanagement, loss of agency control, and enabling Russian advances, particularly in the South. His absence during the invasion's opening days, combined with numerous internal breaches, led to the political and legal consequences. What can you say on that? Bakanov does sound like slur. Yeah. Good to see you, Ben. SBU killed Denys Davydov, who reported the details of coming full-scale invasion. You think so? Yeah, SBU killed Denys Davydov, by the way, who was working for military intelligence. SBU killed the agent of the military intelligence of Budanov. And Bakanov was back then the head of SBU by the time of this killing. So yeah, I'm telling you guys the things as it is. As I told you, like in some of my videos, then recently, a few months ago, Zelenskyy and the Ukrainian government voted to block the independent anti-corruption institutions in Ukraine. You know why people were against it? They knew the story. The rabbit hole is deeper, actually. If I say about it on my channel, like I'm biased, I'm pro-Ukrainian, I want to support Ukraine, and Zelenskyy, he made his himself in Western media as the defender of Ukraine, hero of Ukraine, as many said. And if I start to tell openly about the stuff on the main channel, people will say, you are against Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. So he is already associating himself. And if I right now blame Zelenskyy openly, by the time Russia blames him, Trump blames him, I would look not okay? So now it's more important, it happened, the South happened. Right now it's important to defend Ukraine, military support, so on, so on, so on. So you understand, why I'm not anti-Zelenskyy channel or something like this. But I still think that even Zelenskyy himself should be persecuted when the war is over for those things. Absolutely. I think like that. For appointing wrong people, for corruption, maybe not from him, but he organized the system. So yeah, Dennis, it's okay not to be a fan of your leaders. Yeah, it's okay, absolutely. There are no angels especially in politics. It's interesting. Let's check it out. Because I heard it's 16%, maybe a little more. Oh, I was wrong a little. I thought 16% because I saw those figures. So really his rating was 24.7% before the war. In late 2021, polls indicated that Zelenskyy approval was relatively low, 24.7%. And later 84. 2025, 67. So before the war, as I told you, I'm not lying to you guys. Legacy media may lie to you, but not me. Likely or unlikely, I don't know. But sometimes truth hurts. Yes, would you consider going to politics out? No, no, no. I don't want to be that shit. No, absolutely not. I will be YouTuber, I hope, till the rest of my life. Filming different content. Maybe streamer or YouTuber, I don't know. We'll see. In a survey like that, would you say you're favorable or unfavorable of him? Right now, I don't want elections because it might create instability in Ukraine. Political forces will fight against each other. So I wouldn't say that I support, like, it depends in the future elections who is better. Like, as I say to you, if Zaluzhny or Zelenskyy, I would vote for Zelenskyy, for example. Yeah, thank you, hello. Back flying. I told it many times, world, you know, try to work as an airline pilot. Oh shit, we have a huge, mosquito, this huge size. Maybe it's the bug, but I don't know how they call it. It's the bug that looks like huge mosquito. It flies here. Have you played Squad? Then I launched Squad or Arma. Somehow my servers are not loading. In politics, it's always lesser than 2 evils. Yeah, I agree. I don't know, like, it's hard to say. Tipul? It's called Tipul? Grain fly. Oh my god. I think it... Tipula. Okay. You mean this bug, yeah? Do you think that's 68% increasing incrementally every year? No, decreasing. Of the country now speaking Ukrainian as main will cause issues for those coming back. No, I don't think there will be huge issues with coming back. So the rating of Zelenskyy increased to 84, then went back to 60 with something, yeah, as we mentioned. But still, it's higher than before the war because people understand that it's better not to change him now. Maybe with his unpopular steps, then he tried to block independence of Nabu, maybe it fell down more. Definitely not for ways to stick out. But it's like even the most saint-looking people out there, they may be very bad. I mean, especially politicians. They may lie to you openly and... Yeah, there were very terrible presidents. Like, every president in Ukraine was a fucker. No good presidents at all. Very terrible presidents. But at least they are changing, yeah, from fucker to fucker. In Russia, there is one dick in power for many years. I don't know, like, what statistics for the Russian language. I'm not sure how many people spoke it. In 2001, the formal, like, official statement says that almost 30% spoke. But I agree with you. I think more than 30% because I spoke Russians. Yeah, 40. Yeah, I agree. Like 43, 46, something like this. 43, 46%. In Crimea, 100% almost. I know, I am from Crimea. Maybe 98 from Ukraine. I mean, from not Tatars. In like considered native, like 65 considered Ukrainian native, it doesn't mean that it's they didn't speak Russian. So yeah, my native is Ukrainian, but I speak Russian. It could be like that. So it's like 50-50, yeah, in 2004. I would say before the war it was more or less like this. There is no problem really with language, I think so. After the war, you think Russian tourists can visit Ukraine without being harassed? I don't think so. Because the hatred is very high. There were Russian tourists in Ukraine since 2014. Everything was normal. They were even driving their cars in with Russian number plates. But after they occupied Crimea, yeah. Dude, why are you the only good in Nordstrom's? Yeah, John, I just tell the things as they are. And here in this channel, we can speak about everything. It's the trash channel after all. What's about latest news? Like, I love Ukraine, but to Ukrainian government, I have my own attitude, which is not okay. A new axis of evil. Yeah, probably I'm gonna start my video with this. The next morning video. Largest ever military parade. Like, you know, like Star Wars. Empire, Chinese Empire. That's crazy. Oh, it even looks like this Star Wars, this drone looks like the Star Wars flying unit or something. Flying vehicle. That's shit. 6 German AfD candidates have died suddenly and unexpectedly before key state election. Shit happens. Just innocent Russian children. Zov death to Chochols, which is the N word, let's say, for Ukrainians. Watch the damn parade and stop asking me about lunch. I think Kim Jong-un may eat absolutely everything. I've heard other Ukrainians say basically the same thing. It seems like a common statement about Ukraine among Ukrainians. Yeah, and if you ask even foreigners who fight in Ukrainian army, joined as volunteers, or some volunteers who help Ukrainian army, they will say the same things as I am. If they are in Ukraine, if they spoke to people, locals, they will say the same stuff. I give you 100%. What is happening with his hair? What? Those small elephants are so nice. What he wants to do? Collect the poo? Come on. Yeah, I already check it out. Give my warmest regards to Putin. Ukraine seeks arms build up because it's more reliable than any security guarantee. Yeah. Ukraine believes that a well-armed military is a stronger deterrent to Moscow than any West promises. And about Zelenskyy here, guys, now he is actually forced. He understands that he will not be like Yanukovych, hiding somewhere. No, he is also fighting for his own life here in Ukraine, because he will be, if Ukraine is occupied or if he surrenders Ukraine, he will be kaputted by Russia. That's it. So he's actually even forced, to defend Ukraine now. Now we see some good changes, some of the reforms. There are some changes, positive changes that I see since the beginning of the war. But it's not canceling the fact of incompetence at the beginning and negligence. Negligence. So simply there are no security guarantees. They do not exist any longer. With Donald Trump ruining everything, the world order is being shaken hard. And as I retweeted already, that's the new axis created. Russia, China, North Korea, at least. Maybe some countries may join. And the confrontation will rise. With incompetent Donny in power, it's gonna be bad, and more wars to come. I hope it will not escalate to the global nuclear confrontation. Yeah, Ukraine wants to rely on themselves rather than security guarantees by other states. Look at history. Yeah, Belgium not invaded twice by Germany despite guarantees. Poland, Czechoslovakia got invaded despite guarantees by France. Yeah, you can rely on another country. Yeah. You cannot rely, absolutely. What Ukraine said, it was the dumbest mistake. And if you ask me, what was the worst president of Ukraine, I would say the first one, who signed the memorandum. This prick, fucker. He signed the memorandum at the end of his term with Russia, America, and UK. And it was the beginning of today's events. Country which promised to protect Ukraine, Russia attacked Ukraine. Country which was forcing Ukraine to give up nuclear weapons, United States, is not protecting Ukraine. Here goes some weapons to you. Is it not enough? No, we're not gonna give you more. Get lost. No more weapons to you from our taxpayers. Europe, if you want, go and buy. That's the attitude. Never trust no one. Warning Denys, I see you really proved, but yeah. Yeah, it is stupid. It is the stupidest action. I'm not saying that Ukraine should use nuclear, but it was the only thing which was holding Ukraine from Russian attack. How did he become a hero of Ukraine? I don't know. But he is I was a baby by the time, yeah, of Kravchuk. My wife she's older than me. She remembers it. She says they were all like very little kids, and even they understood that this move is stupid. No one believed it. No one supported that move, and he did it like on himself. I'm the boss here. I will give up nukes because Americans like it. The thing about the Swedish government and if I'm not into Swedish government. I'm sorry, joint. I'm not into politics in Sweden. It's not my topic. I need to research for it. So if there is some connection with Ukraine, I would go. I'm in American politics because it openly influences my country. Ukraine and Europe and the global stability. Sweden, after all, I'm sorry, it's not that like influencing country compared to United States. There is it doesn't like Ukraine would have fun like if it is your security and your security depends on nuclear missiles, like existence of the country depends on nuclear missiles, you'll find the money. Freaking Kim Jong-un with his people starving, he find the money not just to maintain his nuclear missile, like he builds those. So Ukraine should have understood that at least, like, okay, if America insists so much, give up half, because after all, it was too much. Yeah, so many nuclear warheads. Half. And still it would be okay for Ukraine to hit Moscow, okay? Just in case. But what they did is terrible. Yeah, at least some nukes, yeah. Just in Moscow, like, if Americans are so worrying, like, give up the Satana SS strategic intercontinental missiles, which can reach United States. But Moscow, you can have smaller missiles. Yeah, 1,500 nukes is too much for Ukraine. But all, it's no. Maybe 100, like 100 is okay, yeah? 100 missiles. Launch them at once and at least 5 for sure will penetrate Russian air defense. And that would be enough for Moscow. With Putin there. Yeah, 100 missiles for such a small country as Ukraine. Yeah, after all, it's the big country in Europe, if we speak about the European countries. But it's way smaller than China, and China has roughly 500 missiles, something like that. They're building more. I didn't understand, Adam, sorry. Illinois made the funder. Oh. Oh, I see. Epstein files. Interesting. He'll put in places, get some flamingos. Yeah, at least flamingo. But flamingo is the standard aviation bomb, just mounted on cruise missile. It's not possible to hit Putin's ass with it. Nuclear, yeah, it hurts a lot. You cannot hide in many of the cases. Okay, guys, I think it's okay. It's enough for today. It was a kind of hard stream for me, the second one, but I need to go. I'm sorry, I need to sleep. Oh, many people are watching actually, 49, 48. And it's more stable than I play games. Ozzy, ciao. And everyone, guys, stay awesome. Ciao.